Yeah, so in our previous session, we did MS and breaker. Yeah, so basically MS and breaker is just something that was foundational, market structure and breaker. So I'm just going to use a downtrend to sort of remind. So now here we have a downtrend structure. And here we have what we call the breaker, right? So now today what we're going to learn is what we call the DP. So now the DP is what we call the decision point. The decision point. So after identifying your breaker, what you look out for is a decision point. A decision point. So a decision point is basically where we place our entries. A decision point is where we place our entries. So this is where we place our entries. So without a decision point, no entry. If you don't see a decision point, then there's no point of putting an entry. So that is just the basic introduction of the decision point. So a decision point is a level where we place our entries, either sell entry or buy entry. Now for this scenario, for the downtrend, you look out for sell decision points, and for the uptrend, you look out for buy decision points. So that is basically the introduction, right? So now in our decision points, we have what we call unfilled orders, right? Unfilled orders. That is where we find unfilled orders. So we find unfilled orders along decision points. So each time you identify a decision point along that area there, that is where we find unfilled orders. And these unfilled orders are usually made by the big institutions. That is what we have at the back of our minds. So basically we have, of course, two types. We have what we call the reversal decision points. And then we have what we call the continuation decision points. Yeah, so this mode is very simple. I'm pretty sure 90% of traders know about decision points. 90%. That is if you have a background of supply and demand, right? So under the reversal decision points, we have what we call the rally, base, drop. So now the reversal decision points form what we call the supply zones, right? The supply zones. So we have rally, base, drop, and drop, base, rally, right? Then under, my fonts are too big. Just give me a moment. I think 36. Yeah, this is now better. So under continuation decision points, we have what we call the drop, base drop, and then the rally, base rally. So now continuation. Yeah, I think this is, let me leave that at that. Yeah, so now rally base drop is what we call rally, base, then drop. So now this is a reversal decision point, that forms what we call supply zone, right? Then we have what we call the drop base, the drop base rally, which forms what we call the demand zone. So now these are key decision points under reversals, right? Then under continuations, we have what we call the drop base drop, and this is also a supply zone. And as I said, in these zones here, that is where we find unfilled orders. So here we have a rally, base rally. This is also what we call a demand zone. Yeah. So this is just a breakdown of these decision points. So I'm just going to quickly illustrate them. Yeah. So for the reversal decision points, we have what we call the rally base drop. So here basically price will rally, form a base, and then drop. Now along this base here is where we have our unfilled orders. And now for this case here, this is what we call a supply zone. So under the supply zone, we have what we call unfilled sale orders. So we have unfilled sale orders along this zone here. So here we have, so price will basically rally, form a base, and then drop. So here what we wait for is for price to retrace to the zone, fill up the orders, and then reverse. So this is what we call a rally base drop, right? Yeah. Then the second type of reversal, we have what we call a drop base drop. Sorry, it was a drop base. Sorry, drop base rally. It's a demand zone. So here basically price will drop, form a base, and then rally. So now along this base here, we have what we call unfilled buy orders, right? We have what we call unfilled buy orders. So this is a drop, base, then rally. So what we wait for is for price to fill up these orders, and then we can buy from that zone there. This is very simple. So these are the two types of a reversal decision points. We have a drop, base, then rally. So this is a supply. This is a supply zone. Then for the drop base rally, this is a demand zone. So for demand zones, we buy. Then for supply zones, we sell. So mark those differences there. Now, then for the continuation decision points, we have what we call the drop, base drop. So price will drop, form a base, and then drop. So of course, along this area here, that decision point, now this will be a supply zone. Here we shall have what we call unfilled sale orders. So now when price forms this kind of structure, drop, then it forms the base, and then drops. We wait for price to retrace, fill up the orders, and then drop. So this is what we call the drop base drop. it's a very simple continuation kind of decision point. Then finally, we have what we call the rally-based rally. It's a demand kind of decision point. So price will basically rally, form a base, and then rally. So this is our base right there. And that base there contains unfilled buy orders. Unfilled buy orders, right? So what you do is you wait for price to retrace, fill up those orders, and then we can buy. So this is what we call the rally. Price will rally, form a base, and then rally. So this is what we call the rally, base, rally. Yeah, so now this is just a summary. So now on my right, this is what we call the supply zone. And then on my left, this is what we call the demand zone, our demand zones. Demand zone. Yeah, so this is basically a summary of decision points. I'm sure most of you know about these things, but I just want to remind you, it's a very simple concept. Don't complicate it. So basically, we look out for our entries along these points here. So I call them decision points. Very, very powerful zones. Now I'm just going to get a few examples and then we call it a session. But basically, this is it regarding session 2. It's a very simple session. And you may be wondering why it's simple, but in Forex, people tend to undermine simple concepts. But I just want you to take it as it is. Okay, now let me just rush through a few examples. Let me start off with the supply zones. So under supply, we have what we call the rally-based drop, which is a reversal. Let me see. This is basic Forex. Okay, so here, I think here you can see something right there. You can see price formed a rally, then it formed a base, and then dropped. So this is a perfect example of what we call the rally. So price rallied, formed a base, and then dropped. So this is a very good example of a rally base drop. Very nice one. Let me see if I can get a drop based drop. I think drop based drops are quite common. Yeah, today is basically revision. I'm pretty sure most of us know these things. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I think we have examples here. So you can see price here basically formed a drop. You can see the base and then the drop. That is an example of a drop based drop. And then also here, I think we do have one right there. So now sometimes you can have a decision point that is not visible on a higher time frame. For example, here we have a hidden decision point. Most times we call it a hidden base. So now the base is not visible on a higher time frame. But if you go to a lower time frame, you will be able to pinpoint. You'll be able to pinpoint the decision point. Let me see M30. Yeah, so now on M30, the decision point is clear, right? There drop, base, drop. But on a higher time frame, you can't see it clearly. So I want to take note of that. sometimes you can have a hidden decision points. So what you do, you go to lower time frames and you identify it. Let me see. I think same scenario here. So now notice along this area here, we cannot see the decision point, right? But if you go to lower time frame, you're able to see it. So now this is what we call a hidden base, so hidden decision point. So price formed a drop base, and then it continued dropping right there. Let me see a rally base rally. Let me get a few examples. Yeah, I think we have a few examples. That is our base. So you can see our price dropped it, then it formed the base, and then it rallied. Yeah, there are quite a number of examples. Let me see if I can get more. But this is a very simple module, so I don't want you to complicate it. It's a very basic module. You don't have to complicate it. Let me see. Yeah, this is a US dollar CHF. I think we have an example here. So you can see our price formed a drop base rally right there. A drop base. So you place your entries, after analyzing, identify your decision points and place your limit orders along those areas. Yeah, so here we have a drop base rally, a very good example. And then finally, we have what we call the rally base rally. I think it was a recent example. So all these are, we have a hidden base there, which is a rally, base rally. Same thing here. I think we had an example on gold. Let me see gold H1. Let me go to H4. Yeah, so here you can see we had a base there. You can see our price from the rally base, rally. So I don't want to over explain. It's a very simple module. So you just now need to practice. So I think let me conclude here. So our decision points this is where we place our entries because that is where we have what we call the unfilled orders. And then now we have the reversals and we have what we call the continuations as I've explained here. So we have what we call the supply zones where we place our sell entries, and we have what we call the demand zones where we place our buy entries. So under supply, we have a rally-based drop, which is a reversal, and drop-based drop, which is our continuation. Then under demand, we have what we call the drop-based rally, which is our reversal, and the rally-based rally, which is our continuation. Yeah, so now all those decision points have what we call unfilled orders that have to be filled. Once the order is filled, it becomes mitigated. Yeah, so that is basically a summary. Now, something I want to explain before I conclude. So now there are cases whereby, let me say you have your breaker, right? You have a breaker, but then right above your breaker, you have two decision points. Maybe you have a decision point there, and then probably you have another decision point there. So now all the decision points are valid, right? Are valid. So now price could potentially reverse at this decision point, or it could go ahead to reverse at this other decision point here. So now, if you have two decision points after your breaker, those decision points are valid, right? So what I usually recommend is you can either double your risk. If you're risking 1%, risk 0.5% on the first decision point, or and the other 0.5% on the other decision point. Or maybe you can wait for price approach, which I'll cover price approach under session 3. So now price approach will guide you. I will guide you on selecting a decision point. So we shall cover that under session 3. Or the other scenario is using a wide stop loss. You can place your entry at your first decision point, but place your stop loss above the previous high. So this can also work. But what I recommend is following price approach. So price approach will guide you. We shall cover price approach under session 3. Yeah, otherwise, let me stop here. This is a session 2. Yeah, session 2 is officially done. Yeah, so you can comment if you've understood the basics of the session. Then I can call it a day. You can comment if you're following. You can comment. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's a very simple concept. Don't complicate it. Understand it as simple as it is. Decision points. Yeah, let me call it a session. Let me end it here. I'll share the recording. Yeah, have a good day for now. Let me see.